In this section, we're learning about meditation. Meditation in general, but a particular form of meditation that, as I told you in the trailer, is one of my favorite tools in the yoga and Ayurveda toolbox. It's saved my sanity many times. So meditation in general, we tend to think of as trying to clear our mind, but that in fact is not what meditation is about. It's more like it's about trying to direct your mind in a way that you want it to go, rather than let it run away from you like a herd of wild horses, which is sometimes the image used in Ayurveda and yogic texts. So we want to just learn to focus the mind on one particular thing of our choosing. Sounds simple, but it's not. It does take practice. But there's some easy things that you can do to start a meditation practice, and the benefits are many, which I'll describe in just a minute. There's a lot of forms and styles of meditation. The idea, though, again, is just focusing, directing your thoughts to a single point of focus. You might focus on your breath. You might focus on a candle flame or a flower. You might focus on a sound, for example, a Tibetan singing bowl, and just a constant. Or you might focus on an object, for example, the symbol of one of the chakras that you might be working with. Or one of my favorite forms of meditation is actually meditating on a phrase, mantra meditation or japa meditation. And often you'll use a tool called a mala. This is a mini mala or wrist mala, but you may be familiar with the malas that are more like a necklace that have 108 beads. That's a particularly easy form of meditation to start with, and really, really useful because it starts to change the way your mind thinks. Most of the time we're stressed out because of the way we think. So why not have a little bit of control over that? Why meditate? Well, there's lots of reasons, and these are backed up by science, and there's been lots of studies done on meditation. One of the benefits is it helps us reduce anxiety and stress, because remember, a lot of our stress and anxiety comes from what we're thinking, not from any real tangible danger. It also helps us build emotional resilience, which is really important. It helps us have more self-awareness, which also is really important too, so that we know when we're getting out of balance before it's gone too far. It helps us to improve our attention span, and that could not be more important than it is in this day of social media. We also learn self-compassion and compassion for others. Here's my favorite one, is it actually helps to reduce age-related memory loss. It is great for reducing insomnia, again, because a lot of the times we're not sleeping because our brain is really, really super busy like a wild sea in a storm. And it can help to reduce pain. Because it reduces stress levels, it really helps to increase those happy hormones that reduce pain. And finally, it can decrease blood pressure as well. So those are actually just some of the benefits. I've seen a lot more, but even just those, I'm sure, would convince you that it's worth even 5 minutes a day of meditation regularly can benefit you. So how do we meditate? So here's some simple steps to keep in mind. First of all, get yourself comfortable. It is recommended to sit in most meditation types other than Yoga Nidra. Otherwise, there's a tendency to fall asleep. So I usually tell people to start with a really simple form of meditation like japa meditation, using the mala beads, because it's tangible and gives you something to do, and it's a really easy form to start with. So secondly, once you're comfortable, check in and do a bit of a body scan to make sure you don't need to make any last-minute physical adjustments. If you're uncomfortable, you're going to find that you're very distracted just by your body. So do whatever you need to do to sit comfortably with the spine straight And make sure you don't have your feet crossed over each other or your arms crossed over. Just sitting in a nice straight position, feet flat on the floor if you're sitting. The other thing that you want to make sure of is that there are no distractions. So everybody can scrape out 5 minutes of time for yourself. Give yourself that time. You also want to start small. So I do suggest starting with maybe just a 2-minute practice and then work your way up. Yoga Nidra, for example, can be anywhere from 20 to 60 minutes. And some very experienced practitioners will practice several times a day for hours. That doesn't have to be you. 5 minutes is a really good thing to aim for. You want to be practicing with compassion, not perfection. You don't need to get it exactly right. Just do what feels right for you and try to get into a habit of doing it every day if possible, or at least aim for 5 days a week. Self-compassion is really important. If you find that you have a practice that's a bit more challenging, know that you can try again. Every time you have to come back to your practice, it's a practice, right? When you do have a practice that you feel happy with, whether that's 2 minutes or 60 minutes, acknowledge that you've taken the time to do something good for yourself. And to end your practice, I like to come back to that body scan. See how you feel after you've meditated. What you might want to do is actually start and end your practice with some gesture or ritual that you do to say, this is my meditation space. For example, lighting a candle at the start of your practice and blowing it out at the end. So there's a few simple techniques to get you started if this is your first foray into meditation. And even if you've been meditating for a while, there might be 1 or 2 things in there that you could add to your practice to make it even easier for you to stick with. Now let's talk about Yoga Nidra, my most favorite form of meditation. Yoga Nidra is a systematized process of deep and profound relaxation. Yoga Nidra is a unique form of meditation in that it includes asana. Okay, it's just one pose. You're lying down in Shavasana. It includes breath work, guided imagery, positive thinking, and self-awareness, which makes it a really profound tool to begin changing deep-seated beliefs. And it's these deep-seated beliefs that can really limit our ability to be who we're meant to be our fullest, to reach our fullest potential. Yoga Nidra can be anywhere from 20 minutes to 60 minutes. It requires nothing other than laying down and getting comfortable, and that's the beauty of it. It has all of the same benefits of any other type of meditation, but as I said, it also has the added benefits of working with deep-seated beliefs because you're fully relaxed and using positive intention in that fully relaxed state. Those positive affirmations can get a little deeper into our psyche and maybe help you overcome those deep-seated beliefs that are limiting who you can be. Yoga Nidra is a yoga tool that I recommend if you're feeling really fatigued and exhausted and you really don't have the energy to do anything else. It's a great way to restore your energy. It's also really good if you're feeling confused or conflicted, because sometimes you can actually get to a resolution in Yoga Nidra. The answer might not pop up while you're in your Yoga Nidra practice, but you may find you're just able to think a little bit more clearly, so come to a solution in a better state of mind. It's also really wonderful if you're feeling overwhelmed and you just really need to take a time out from all of the stuff that's overwhelming you. If you give yourself that 20 minutes, you'll find that you can actually cope with some of those things that are overwhelming you a lot more easily. And finally, it's great if you just want to avoid becoming depleted. In yoga terminology, it's one of the things that helps to build prana, or vital life force, better than almost anything else. Here's the anatomy of a Yoga Nidra sequence. It starts with just getting comfortable. That's really important. And so you might want to have a blanket, a very thin pillow, because you want your neck in line with your spine. And you may want a rolled up towel or blanket for under your knees, or a bolster if you happen to have one. So the anatomy of a yoga nidra practice is first you get comfortable, and then you say a sankalpa, or a positive intention, and that's a really important part of a yoga nidra practice. And then we do something called rotation of awareness, where we're just bringing your awareness from point to point on the body. We then work with breath awareness. Then we move from mind-body awareness, where we're working with pairs of opposites in different kinds of ways, including working with the chakras or energy centers. And then there's usually a journey or a story, and there's a reason for that. Everything in Yoga Nidra has a really good reason. And then finally, you're guided back to your breath, and then you repeat your sankalpa before coming fully awake, and then you're guided to fully awake. So it's a really wonderful process, and I hope you enjoy the practices I have for you in the following lessons. There's 3 different practices. One is to reduce excess air, or vata. One is to reduce excess pitta, or fire. And one is to reduce excess kapha, or water earth. And the way they're different is I've used different imagery using that principle we learned in section 1, that if we've got an overdose of one element or 2 elements, we want to work with the opposite elements to reduce the excess. So remember, opposites bring you back into balance or reduce an excess. So if you're feeling like vata is really high, and you'll know this because you'll know what your current condition is because you did that quiz in section 1, right? Your current condition. So if your current condition is vata, for example, you'd want to do the vata reducing yoga nidra practice. But you can do any of the practices. They're all going to be beneficial, but I would suggest starting with whatever the highest dosha is for you right now, or your highest element right now. If you've got any questions about any of this, please write a question in the comments. I'll get back to you, or send me a direct email. So I'm so happy to share this particular practice with you. I hope you enjoy it, and I can guarantee it will be of huge benefit to you.